So the first thing we're going to start with is the horn for the car. So this is originally located here. So what we're going to do, because these horns dangle down a lot, we're going to try to relocate them. And the way we're going to do that, so the way we're going to do this, we're just going to have to cut this tab off. And we're going to end up with this hole here. What we're going to do, we're just going to place it where it was originally bolted on with the same screw, OEM screw. So using the OEM 8mm bolt, we're just going to screw it back where it was. As you can see, the horns now are facing up, so they won't interfere with the bullbar later. So the way that's going to fit, this big hole here, that's going to meet with the intercooler support bracket from the bottom. And now we fit the two M12 bolts from underneath, the original ones. So we're only going to hand tie them for the meantime. Okay, so on the same side here, we've got a few components that we're going to be using. I'm going to put them in order. So we've got the two plates on the side of the chassis rail. We've got the long M12 bolt. We've got a crusher tube. And now I'm going to show you how we put them in order. So once we insert this bracket here, we will have to insert the long M12 bolt from the outer side of the chassis rail. And then you've got the crusher tube that's only going to go from the inside, guys. So once we put that in, got the other bracket. Washer. And then nut. And repeat the process on the other side. So once we install both recovery points, we can go ahead and high tension the bottom OEM bolts. However, we're just going to leave this one hand tight, and the reason why we're going to have to insert this bracket, and that's going to be the bash plate support. So we lift that up, wedge it in here, and high tension the whole lot. And repeat the process on the other side. Now that we've got everything nice and tight, it's time to fit the cradle. And the way it goes on, we'll place it in first using OEM bolts. So using OEM bolts, we're just gonna put them back on. So what we'll do, we'll just position the cradle for the meantime. We can go ahead and tie them once, and then we're gonna add more bolts to it once we're done. So now that we've got the cradle hand tight, we're just gonna make sure that it's positioned right in the center, and the way to do so is measure the edge of the cradle to the edge of the chassis rail on both sides. Now that I've got the rest of the holes exposed, I can go ahead and high tension the AEM bolts and add some more. Once you do this side here, you can repeat the process on the other side and then high tension the whole lot. So now that we have high tensioned all the bolts, if you want to install a winch, it's the right time to do so. So here we're prepping the bullbar to go on the cradle. So we've got the deck pack, which will be living right here. So we've got some supplied M6. Just gonna put one bolt with a nut on each side. So now that we have the Bullbar prepped and wired, we highly recommend getting the wires done by a certified auto electrician. So now it's time to fit the Bullbar on the car. Okay, so here's how the Bullbar is going to fit on the cradle. It's going to come from the outside, and the way we do it, there's supplied M12 bolts and washers and a nut. So the way we do it, we fit the bolt from the outside, and then followed by a washer, spring washer from the inside, and then the nut. So we're going to be doing 3 bolts on each side.